Hey everyone, Scott Augenbaum, retired FBI agent. I'm here with my good friend Eric Cook. I've known Eric for probably about a decade and a half. We met at a bankers conference. Eric is an expert in digital marketing. Say hi to everyone, Eric.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? I also have the distinction of getting the infamous, maybe famous Scott Augenbaum on LinkedIn. I have that posted to my refrigerator, just so
Oh,
you.
that's wonderful. Well, listen, you're my guy. What did I say about digital marketing 10 years ago when we talked? What did I say about, was I ever going to have a LinkedIn account?
I believe it was no way in the H word that you would ever be involved. And it wasn't really digital marketing. It was more so social media in general. Because at the time when we met, it was just becoming a thing that banks were exploring. And as a recovering former banker of 15 years myself, I saw the writing on the wall as something to pay attention to, much like when I built my bank's first website in 1995 and nobody knew what the heck a website was. I just had a gut impression that that's where it would needed to go. And so when we got together and we're at the same conference and I was talking about why bankers needed to do it, you pulled me aside and were very kind, but in your large, intimidating presence,
Not
I will
me.
never be on social media and I will never have a LinkedIn account. Um, and I said, okay, Mr. Augenbaum, agent, special agent. But here we are talking, and this video is likely going to be on a number of social platforms because I think what we're going to chat about is really important for a lot of people to know, and it gives us a great platform to spread the message. So
Absolutely. And okay, I've eaten my words 100 times. Okay. So here's one of the things I want to ask you as a
that, by the
digital
way.
marketing professional. I'm a content creator. People love my little micro burst videos that are about what, 45 seconds to a minute. You've seen a couple of these, right?
I have. I've engaged and given you thumbs and hearts and all sorts of other reactions.
Okay. Unfortunately, I got thrown a question that I have to entertain. Somebody came to me before and said, Scott, there's nobody on TikTok providing this type of information to people. I've had a lot of stances about putting TikTok on a lot of corporate networks. I'm going to be honest, I have it on my phone. I shut off the location services. But now I feel like, am I going to have to eat my words again? I want to get my content to people to stay safe. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, you
No,
know.
you were very clear about that. You wanted this to be very much, and I'm a little nervous because knowing you, you might throw me a curveball, and I think you're going to
No,
knock me
no,
out with.
I'm sitting here with my heart open. I really am torn because I've been beating up TikTok pretty bad. I mean, TikTok is owned by the Chinese government. The Chinese government monitors everything. My intentions are one thing, to teach individuals and organizations how to keep their families safe, how to keep kids safe, how to keep seniors safe. So, Eric, I'm going to throw it to you. What do I do? What do I do? I'm coming to your advice as my mentor.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on who your audience is and who you want to reach. And if you're interested in reaching the younger generation that is using this platform, that maybe, I don't want to say they're not concerned, but they're not as bothered by some of the issues that are in the news today as maybe some of us that are in business and focused on cyber and privacy. But if your audience is to really reach that younger generation where they're spending their time, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram stories, those are areas where your content's going to have to go. I often get asked by banks, what's the best social platform? Where should we be spending our time? And the question really is, if you're going to go fishing, where do the fish that you want to eat swim? What times of the day do they get out and want to feed? I mean, and I'm not a big fisherman, but I know enough about fishing to use it as an analogy. And you need to go where the fish are. You need to go where the audience is. And so certainly if you wanted to reach business owners, banking professionals, which is the world that I live in, then probably that's not the area that you're going to want to be putting content on. because they're just not there. They have a similar mindset to you. They've forbidden it within their organization. They're not engaged. But this next generation that's maybe clicking on things without thinking first and providing information without thinking first, that could very well be a very ripe audience. And if you can deliver that content in a way that people are expecting to consume content, and I don't know as if we necessarily need to see Scott Augenbaum doing TikTok dances, but having fun, being a little bit more humorous and jovial and
What do you mean?
playing.
I'm not humorous and jovial as it is?
I figured you'd even change your facial expression for that one. So thanks for not disappointing me. But being able to essentially embrace the audience that you're speaking to and share information in that bite-sized, snackable, sometimes it's referred to as edutainment. It's educational, but it's entertaining. So you don't really realize you're learning something, but at the end of the day, you are. And then just being very conscientious and aware of what information you're putting into that platform, what access you're granting that device to the platform. And if you're putting in information that's educational and you've restricted access to data within your device and you're comfortable with that, then you can mitigate the risk. But at any project that you use or any app is going to have some inherent risks. And if you take a look at what Facebook has access to and what Gmail has access to, likely has a lot of that access as well. It's just where does it end up? And if it's going to China and it's your message about keeping safe and secure and it doesn't have some of your private information, that could be okay or worth the risk because you're reaching people that need to hear the story and you're willing to let some of that go for the benefit of the audience hearing that important message that you have to deliver. So,
That's my dilemma right now because there's
yep,
175 million US citizens that are using that. There's a lot of adults, they're working at companies, they might not be able to have it, they have it on their phone. I want to keep individuals and families safe.
yep,
So this is what I struggle because I get called to be on the news all the time about it. I have
sure.
really broken some couple of friends, chops who went to work there. I mean, honestly. So this is something that I have to balance back and forth. And this is something that I'm going to take a little bit of heat on, but I'm still entertaining
Yep.
this.
Yeah. The other thing that you may want to also think about, and those that are watching this video, certainly, I just did a webinar with some colleagues of mine yesterday about building visibility online, more so from a digital banking perspective, but how, as your organization is embracing more digital, do you create awareness and visibility? And video is a big part of that. One of the statistics that I shared in that webinar session was the power of YouTube. It's the second largest search engine. It's one of the largest, most trafficked websites and apps on the internet today. And it has introduced, and I know some friends of mine who are not fans of TikTok that have migrated over to YouTube Shorts, which is a vertical
Yeah.
formatted video platform that is very similar in feel and function to TikTok and Instagram stories, but it's part of the YouTube ecosystem where you
Mhm.
still have that swipe and read or
Yeah.
watch or entertain. It's still short format video. If you want to watch long format video, you go to the regular YouTube and you watch the long videos. But being part of the largest search engine on the planet, monthly average user count in YouTube is greater than TikTok. I was surprised to learn that. And it kicks out more video content than Netflix and Facebook combined. Those are
Wow.
some of the other statistics that I shared. So building that vertical formatted video is certainly a very powerful way to move that edutainment, snackable content into other platforms that people may end up migrating to. The last thing that I want to mention is even platforms like LinkedIn, which have been very focused on business and professional, is beta testing right now a vertical format TikTok video service to be
Yeah, I
able to
saw
tell
that.
stories.
I saw.
And while, some of the things that they've tried in the past may not necessarily have panned out and worked so well, they've rolled out games to try to make the platform more enjoyable and entertaining. And this vertical formatted edutainment type style video is one that Microsoft, the owner of LinkedIn, is going to play with. So if you're creating that video and you're comfortable sharing it in TikTok, great. But you can take that same vertical format and you can put it into Instagram, you can put it into Facebook, you can put it into YouTube, you can put it in a lot of different places. And then it just depends on where your audience is going to see it
Yeah.
and when they engage. And
Oh,
so crossing all of those chasms, I think, is a great strategy to make sure that your message or any message is seen by as many people as possible.
now let me tell you, if I can go back in time and you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be asking you this question and having discussion, you know,
And
as
having it documented.
as a 56-year-old retired FBI agent who realizes that I don't even want to say influencer, but this is where I wrestle with, and I appreciate
Yep.
that because I don't want people to go, hey, Scott Augenbaum is doing TikTok, so it has to be okay. So what I think I've heard you say is there's a lot of different platforms I could put content out on that's similar to that. It has to reach, and let's kind of go through things a little quickly here. Listen, if you're going to put things out, that's why you need to identify your social media accounts. We need to make sure that we have separate, robust passwords and two-factor authentication. Imagine if somebody got access to my LinkedIn account and, hacked into it, and now they were able to post videos or lookalikes or something. It could be horrible. Well,
Yeah.
listen, Eric, I appreciate your time. How can people learn more about you because you provided me with some free consulting today, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm pretty active out on LinkedIn myself. Eric Cook MBA is my LinkedIn handle. You can visit our agency site at poweredbywsi.com, where we work with banks and financial institutions on digital marketing and web strategies. And if you want some individual coaching and some one-on-one and you're in the financial services industry, I would suggest popping out to thelinkedbanker.com, not LinkedIn, but thelinkedbanker.com. That's our mentoring and mastermind community. And we spun that up back in August of 2020 to help banking professionals build their personal brand, establish themselves as subject matter experts, and create relationships online. I say it a lot. My father, who was a 33-year banking veteran, said to be successful in the world of banking, and I think in business in general now, is people want to see you as their banker, not just somebody that works at the bank. And so being present, being helpful, being a resource that's not just talking about products and services, but things that your audience, your customers, your prospects, your community are interested in is the way to build visibility. And I can't thank you enough for the information that you're producing to try to help people stay safe. I know it feels like you're pushing that stone up the hill and it's a rough struggle. People don't want to listen to it. They don't think it's ever going to happen to them. But if you're not engaged with Scott's content, please spend some time, listen, make some effort to protect yourself. Because I've had too many conversations with people that have had just that happen. And it's very difficult to get that back once the bad guys are in. A little bit of proactive upfront can save you a lot of hassle at the end. So thanks for allowing me the opportunity and
No,
not
thank
throwing
you,
you too
Eric.
many
And
curveballs. This has been great.
once we go offline, you can show me a couple of TikTok dances that I can start putting together for the
As
audience.
long as you pause the recording, sure.
All right. Thanks so much, Eric.
Well, thanks, buddy. See ya.